Welcome everyone. I have to start every video like that now, I feel like, because Kafoopal called me out on it, but that's neither here nor there. For the first time this year, I'm teaching 10th grade. I'll be teaching the kids that I had in 9th grade last year, and I'll be teaching them as they move into 10th grade. And here's why this is important to this video, no matter what grade you teach. I told those students at the end of last year that this year was going to be the best year that I ever had teaching, and that they would hopefully glean some goodness from that. So I want to share with you my top 10 ways that I'm planning on having the best year ever. There's not necessarily a money back guarantee on this. I'm going to throw out 10 things. Maybe you'll use them, maybe you won't, maybe you use some of them, maybe it gives you something to think about and you change it into something that you want to do. Either way, go for it. But here's my top 10 things. Number one, planning. In order to have a great year, you need to plan a great year. Some stuff just happens serendipitously and it seems like, oh, this year was just great because this happened to happen, or I happen to have a really good class. But I think planning can take a really good year and make it into a great year. Some ways to do that. One, I love writing on whiteboards. I like mapping everything out on a whiteboard and having all of my notes up there, because then I can erase things, I can move things, I can draw arrows, I can shift things, and it just gives me a place to kind of like mentally vomit all over something. Also, I love Post-it notes. I like putting Post-it notes all over the place because it gives me the chance to do the same thing, to move things around, to put things in categories. So maybe I have all of my pre-class ideas or all of my books that I want to write or all of my objectives that I want to get through. They're in different categories or lists and I can move those around. Or class trip ideas, and then it's easy to throw them out too, because you didn't like, it's not in a planner, it's not on a chart yet, like it's just getting it out there and thinking about it. So a sub point to that idea is don't recreate the wheel, especially if you're a first year teacher or you're a student teacher. Someone else has already done something great. It doesn't mean you have to steal their idea or like just take it verbatim, but just take that idea and maybe think of how you could recreate it or what parts work for you. A lot of times I'll look up online and I use very specific adjectives like the best Odyssey lesson ever, the best of Mice and Men project ever. And when you do stuff like that, you'll see that people use those adjectives when they're looking things up, like the perfect lesson, a great lesson, an awesome lesson, the most fun lesson. When I look those up, I'll print them out at school because, you know, I will take the best pieces of that and I'll hang them up on a wall or on my whiteboard, and then I just kind of minority report that situation.
Set up a perimeter until we're en route. Investigator from the
Until it becomes a lesson that I start liking or something that I want to do. And then you make it your own from there. So what you're doing there is you're taking other folks' ideas and you're changing them, modifying them, pivoting them a little bit so that they become yours, instead of just trying to think of something completely original, because chances are it's all been done already anyway, but it hasn't been done by you. And sometimes it's not just the message, but it's the messenger who's delivering that is going to make all the difference. Great ways to find stuff. TPT is a really good way to find things or to at least get you started. I think Pinterest is a really, really great way. One of the things I've been working on this summer a little bit is the Real Rap with the Reynolds Pinterest account. So if you want to go there, if you check that out, you might find some lesson plan ideas or some room ideas, but it's there to just help you and to give you some, like a jumping off point. The next thing with planning is to make it tangible. Plan stuff out and then price it out. You want to go on a class trip? Find out what that class trip is going to cost. How much is it per student? Do you need a bus? Will you need to provide lunches? Will the kids have their own lunches? Will the kids be able to bring food with them? You want to start planning some of that stuff out because it makes it actually tangible. Because then that's going to put a real number in your head and it gives you something to present to your school as well and say, I want to do this trip, here's exactly what it's going to cost. And if they say no, you can start planning for something else instead of just saying, when they say no. And the last point about planning is really start thinking about the when and wheres. Years ago, I had this idea that I call Weird Friday, and Weird Friday is I kind of show something strange in class that goes along with the theme of making something from nothing, right? So every Friday, I show a weird video or I talk about something or I have a guest come in to speak, but I have to plan those out, like find the videos. I have to plan the speakers and schedule them. I have to, if I have a weird little activity I want to do, I have to start like getting all of the stuff for that and having all my supplies ready, having the time blocked out to be able to do that. But it makes it more real and it's going to make you more excited because it's like yeah, that guy that you wanted to come in and speak to your students, he can actually do it. Or that woman that you reached out to, she got back to you and said yes. So it takes it out of just being in your mind, and you actually get to put it down on paper or put it into your Google document and actually schedule it. And that's a really, really good feeling. Second way I'm planning on using to make this the greatest year ever in my classroom is I'm gonna sprinkle my year with magic. And what I mean by that is not like I mean, I could pull a rabbit out of a hat. That's actually kind of a fun idea. I don't have a rabbit, and I only own one hat, so because I'm not a hat guy. But start coming up with some ideas that you could make your day or your year or your week or your month magical. And what that could look like is a number of different things. Maybe every Tuesday is Tasty Treat Tuesday, and you bring in something delicious for kids that have been doing well that week or that did well on a test last week. Maybe you have Weird Friday, like I spoke about in the last segment. Maybe you have Weird Wednesday or Music Monday. This is with teachers and alliteration anyway. Like, everything has to match all the time. But when you're thinking of ideas, they don't have to be expensive and they don't have to cost any money. I do a lot of stuff on the cheap. I've talked about this before, but one of the ways that I just make days better when I'm not having a good day or like when I'm feeling drained is I have a microphone that I bought from the dollar store. I spray painted it gold because everything that is gold looks better. It's really a bubble blower. Pull the bubbles out of it, I start blowing bubbles in the hallway, and kids love this. It makes everyone's day better. Or I'll walk around and show kids how to put tape on each other without anyone knowing about it, and then just becomes funny. Maybe have a flipped classroom where you're having your kids do their homework in class and their classwork at home. Introduce TED Talk. TED Talk Tuesday. We watch a brief TED Talk at the beginning or end of every class if you do a good job, and it is awesome. Donut Day for kids that do good. Everybody loves donuts except for vegans, but guess what? They got vegan donuts also, so vegans love donuts also. Instead of just putting stickers on kids' papers, put scratch and sniff stickers. Scratch and sniff stickers. I used to do this all the time in my first few years. I had scratch and sniff stickers that if you did really well, like got a 90 or above on something, I would give you a scratch and sniff sticker. I also have this idea this year that I want to get stinky scratch and sniff stickers so that if you do poorly, you get stinky scratch and sniff stickers. Have a little dance party. At the end of every book, we have a little dance party in my class. I play some music, dance around. My friend Miss May, one fab teacher, did this with her class also, and she does silent dance parties where the kids all get to stand on their desks and then they dance silently while the music plays so that you don't disrupt the other people around. I think that is just magical. We have singing days. I have a few days every year where you have to sing every single thing that you want to say in class. So if you want to go to the bathroom, you can't just say, Mr. Reynolds, can I go to the bathroom? You have to sing it. And seeing 14 to 15-year-old boys, like making them have to sing, some kids are stoked because they can sing, and then there's that quiet kid that really has to pee, but he's not allowed until he sings it out. Can I go to the bathroom? And it's amazing. There's tons of ways to make this magical. I suggest to get started, to find some inspiration if you're struggling with that. Go ahead and you could look around YouTube. You could also look at sites like Stumble Upon that let you put in your interests. You hit their little buttons to stumble through different websites and you get tons and tons of great ideas. I love Stumble Upon and I've come up with tons of great videos and content by using them. Third way I'm planning on having the best year ever. A lot of times during the year I make this mistake, and I'm sure I'll make it again, but the idea here is not to be perfect this year, but to continually pivot to just have a better year than you would otherwise. Thanks, truck, for going by so that you could be in my video. A lot of times the mistake that I'll make in school is I just think about me or what I need or how my day is going, or maybe I'll think about how like no one ever thinks about me. No one asked me to go out for drinks. No one asked me to go out for dinner. And when I feel like that, the best way to get out of that is to make my day immediately about someone else. Maybe when you run out for coffee after lunch, you pick somebody else up a coffee and then just drop it off in their room. That would totally make their day, and the residual goodness from that makes you feel good too. Here are a few ways that I'm planning on making my year about other people and not just about myself. 1, bring someone some flowers. In Jersey, it's called Produce Junction, and Produce Junction has really super cheap flowers, and I don't need them to even live a long time because it's not like I'm giving them to my wife, giving them to someone else, and that's kind of a weird thing, and I'm sorry I even brought that up. I once had another teacher use my classroom for something after school, and when I came in the morning, there was like a small bunch of flowers in a vase with a card connected to it on my desk. It just made my day. Like as soon as I walked in my room to get like some flowers, I didn't even care what kind they were. Someone could have... Are you serious? Somebody could have literally walked in and put dandelions in a small plastic cup of water and it would have done the same thing. So it doesn't have to be expensive or cost you a lot of money, but to come in and just see that sprinkling of kindness from someone else to start your day off is, I mean, who could ask for a better start to a day? Got 5 minutes left at the end of class or 10 minutes left at the end of class? Have the students pick one teacher that they really like or they've connected with or someone that's done something nice for them during the year and write a really quick thank you note. If your kids are younger or if they're not necessarily that creative in that particular class to be able to, and they get stuck on how to start, print out little forms. You can find them right on Pinterest, you can find them on TPT, and what that will look like is fill in the name. So-and-so has done this nice thing for me this year, or I like them because of this. When I think of them, it always makes me think of this kind thing that they did for someone else. And then put those in teachers' mailboxes. And that's a really great way to start or end your day. Stop in people's rooms. Just walk down the hallway. Stop what you're doing. Take 10 minutes, walk down the hallway, find someone that's alone in the room, pop your head in and say,
"Hello, Peter. What's happening?"
"Hey man, I was just thinking about you. How you doing? Hey, how's your year going?" Or, "Hey, I was just wondering how that thing turned out that you talked about the other day." We all know, especially if you're at a very big school, that you don't get to see all the teachers. You maybe saw them at that professional development at the beginning of the year, and then next thing you know, it's graduation. That's the next time you see them. It's a really good idea to stop into different people's rooms and just say what's up, because it just makes people feel noticed and feel like they're not invisible. And that's really how all of us want to feel, right? School can feel like a thankless job. Go say thank you to people. Walk into the office, say, "What's up, custodian guy or janitor guy or girl? I really appreciate you cleaning my room." Sometimes I leave notes on my board and I say nice things to the janitor like, "Hey man, I really appreciate you coming in every night and vacuuming my room and emptying my trash. You're the best." Leave a little snack for them. Have the kids draw pictures of the janitor. As long as your kids don't draw weird pictures of janitors, that's not really that good of an idea. Go say thanks to the office staff. Go say thanks to your security peeps out in the front office or something like that. You know as a teacher how much time can go by without ever anyone saying thank you to you. Break that mold and go ahead and say thanks to people. Here's what happens when you do that. Emotion is contagious. If you're constantly blaming others and you're a miserable curmudgeon and you sit in the staff lounge all the time and just like complain about the kids and the other teachers and the administration, that's contagious. It makes other people in that room start to talk about the same thing. But if you start creating a school community where you're like reaching out to others and saying hi and just stopping by and leaving little gifts for people and thank you cards, other people are gonna start doing that stuff too. And at the very least, when they see you, they will smile because they'll know that you're trying to do good in the school and bring light into what's a very dark place sometimes. So go ahead and do it. Sprinkle a little magic and love all over your building. It's like unicorn tears. Yes. Numero 4. The next way that I'm planning on having the best year ever is by celebrating little victories. Sometimes we look at our year or our semester or our trimester or our marking period or whatever in a macro, and we forget to celebrate the very small victories as like, did your day go well? Did your class go well? Did everyone score highly on a test? Did you have more than 50% completion on your homework? Whatever it is, celebrate those little victories. Have a glass of wine that night. Take yourself out to dinner. Take somebody else out to dinner is even better. Go to Target and buy a little something for yourself. We all know that you teachers love Target. I see you on YouTube. You guys love Target. It's like a Target fan club. The idea here is to just get into the habit of celebrating these small victories because that will seriously help you on the days when you just feel like the crappiest teacher that ever lived. So you need to like get into the routine of celebrating those little victories and stop looking at all days and years as these macro things and celebrate the micro as well. A way that I'm planning on celebrating these little tiny victories in my class this year is I bought these little cards from Target at the dollar spot. Every time I think something great happens in class or someone calls out something that happened that was great or really funny or wonderful or kind, we're gonna write little notes on the cards and then hang them up on a bulletin board in the classroom, something like a bulletin board of gratitude or something. Because what that will also do is remind the students of all the great stuff that's happening this year. I mean, parents, you know, if your kid comes home and you say, "Hey, what happened in school today?" and they go, "Nothing really." And then you find out that like a really great speaker came in or they had a pep rally or they got to do something really fun in class or something silly happened. Kids don't always remember those things. So it's important for us to kind of call it out and make a board out of that. You could put it in the hallway at your school, you could do it in your classroom, but celebrating those little victories and then reminding them that that even happened is really, really big. And it will also help you on those kind of dark days in the classroom. You can look at that wall of gratitude and remember, it's not as bad as I think it is. Good stuff does happen. Funny things have happened this year. I have had a really good year overall because you have that wall of gratitude. Number 5, make friends and hang out with people. Everything is better with friends. Even if it's one friend, you can have a really great relationship, and that gives you someone to share your day with, whether it was something great or have an empathetic ear when you need one. When I was 22, I drove cross country by myself in a van, and one night I'm in Arizona and I get to the Grand Canyon. I sneak into the Grand Canyon. Hope no one from the Grand Canyon's watching this because I don't want to get in trouble for it. I snuck in, and then that morning I woke up and saw the Grand Canyon at sunrise. I'd never seen it before in my life. And the only problem was there was no one there to share it with. When you see something awesome, you want to share it with somebody. Making friends at school gives you that opportunity. Invite people out for a drink. Invite people out to go see a movie. Maybe there's a group of individuals at school that like, I don't know, Settlers of Catan. Get those nerds together and go play a game Friday night or something like that. If you're socially awkward or if you're introverted, just try 10 minutes of hanging out. Say everyone's going out for drinks on a Friday night, and you're sort of socially awkward, you're not so sure about yourself, that's fine, but you can go for 10 minutes and just see what happens. Maybe you strike up a conversation with someone that you didn't know was going to happen. And if after 10 minutes you want to leave, say goodbye or just move on out. And that's cool too. But what you'll do is the more you're around those folks and the more you're in those situations, the more it becomes normal and the more comfortable you'll start to feel doing those sorts of things. One more point about making friends. Make friends with positive people. If you hang out with the miserable curmudgeons at school, guess what you're going to become? A miserable curmudgeon. My father-in-law once told me, you hang out with, you smell like. And that has always worked for me. Tim Ferriss also says that you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So whether you believe that or not, if you think about who your circle of friends is and who the 5 people are that you hang out with the most, you're probably somewhat like them. If they laugh a lot, you laugh a lot. If they're silly or funny or honest or very warm and say things from the heart all the time, that's probably what you're going to be more like. If they are kind of miserable and negative and always dogging the kids and dogging the administration, you're going to end up being like that too. So find a group of people that you want to be like and not just a group of people that accept. Number 6, make your space the best. You are in your classroom or in whatever space that you're working in more than your own home probably. So why not make it look at least as good as your own home? Hang up a picture, draw something on the wall, paint something, put up a poster, bring in your kids' artwork, bring a plant in. Want to be funny? Bring a dead plant in. Whatever your space is, you can make it your own, and that's just going to make you feel more comfortable, the other people that are in the building feel more comfortable, the kids feel more excited about being in your classroom. I did a video about a month ago where I talked about a time when I had an office that was in a closet. And I just made it the best possible office that I could. I put up lights, I put shelves up, I had a dead plant in there because I thought it was hilarious. People that came in and opened that closet just got a kick out of it because there was an office in a closet. It looked like Ryan from The Office. I once worked with a woman that didn't have a classroom at all. She had a cart, and all day she had to push that cart from one place to the other. She had to push that cart all over the building all day, like Brooks from Shawshank Redemption. But she tried to make that cart the best it could possibly be. She had a horn on the side of it, and it would honk. You could get some battery powered lights and put it on there, a little disco ball, a sound system. Like, hook that thing up, man. Be the cart in the hallway. What I'm saying is, if the place that you're in kind of looks magical or exciting or imaginative or interesting, it's going to make the kids feel that way too. And you know this because you know sometimes you'll go into someone's house and it's really beautiful and it makes you feel warm and invited and comfortable as soon as you walk in. Whereas like other classrooms or houses or doctor's offices don't make you feel like that. It's kind of cold and forbidding and if you have no sense of design or if that's not really your gig, maybe your spouse would love to do it. Maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend would come in and help you out with it. Let your students come in and help you out with it, and you can make this space together, and that would be a really great way to give the kids ownership over the classroom and make it feel like it was something that was theirs as well. Number 7, ask for help. Far too many of us look at asking for help as being something that shows weakness or failure or that you're not competent enough, when you can really just flip that script and make it a growth mindset instead. Let people know, hey man, I want to be the best. I want to be the greatest teacher that I can possibly be. And to do that, you're going to need a little bit of help. So whether you're having problems with students or other teachers, administration, you're stuck on a lesson or you don't know how to teach a topic, go to other people that do a really good job and ask them. Don't have any friends at school or can't seem to connect with anyone there? Find a Facebook group of teachers. Look for things on YouTube. Email me. I can either maybe help you with anything that you're struggling with, or I could direct you in a way that would help you find someone or something that could better help you with your problem. At the end of the day, there's probably a lot of things that you didn't teach yourself how to do, like ride a bicycle or learn how to swim. I mean, even if we go to the gym, we hire personal trainers for that. So why not do it for teaching as well? Look for a mentor, look for someone that can help you in what you're doing to make you be better, to hold you accountable, or to just help you be the best you can be this year. I have a new class this year where I'm dealing with new types of students and some new subject matter, and I plan on reaching out for help in as many areas as I can and trying to glean some information and some knowledge from other people to make my class the best and to make it better for the kids. Number 8, tame the madness. What I mean by that is bring some order to that junk drawer. Throw out those old pens, the broken crayons and colored pencils. The dog over there, I'm gonna tame his madness in a second. Throw out old papers, wipe down your whiteboards, clean your desks off. An organized classroom can bring a lot of peace to that part inside of you that is feeling crazy at that moment. I know at home even, if my house looks like a mess, it sometimes represents the state of my mind. If my teacher desk looks a hot mess, it can make me feel a hot mess in my head. And by just clearing those things off, cleaning things up, it can make you feel a lot better on the inside. If your classroom's too overwhelming, give a kid its attention. I do this all the time where if someone was writing on my desk, guess what they're doing after school? They're wiping down all my desks. And the funny part is, kids like that, and it's a better use of your time than giving a kid its attention and having them sit there silently. Have them organize something, alphabetize something, clean your whiteboard, take out your trash, pick things up off the ground. Whether they're in trouble or not, love doing this kind of stuff. There's also tons of YouTubers that love organization. If that's your gig and you need some help with that, go check out people like One Fab Teacher, Miss May, or Classroom Diva, or The Lettered Classroom. They love organization, and I'm sure that you could totally glean some ideas from them that you could implement in your own classroom as well. Number 9, find a way to start your day off that makes you pumped, excited, motivated for the day. Maybe that's listening to a certain song every day, or you have a quote that you read every day. Maybe it's getting up 10 or 15 minutes earlier and having a bit of a peaceful morning instead of waking up and feeling rushed, and then you get to school and you feel rushed, and then your kids feel rushed, and then everyone feels rushed. Terrible idea. Maybe you treat yourself to a good breakfast in the morning, or eat something that's healthy and makes you feel good about yourself when you wake up. I have a very specific set of things that I do every morning, and when I do them, I find that I'm my best self. It sounded very Oprah, but regardless, I mean, thanks Oprah. I'm a really routine person. I like routine, especially in the first 60 to 90 minutes of my day, because I find that it helps me operate better. What I'm going to do as soon as I get out of bed, what I'm going to do as soon as I go downstairs, how I'm going to make my coffee, the order in which I'm going to put my ingredients into my smoothie, because I'm a little bit weird like that, and it's okay. I'm sure weird people are watching this, and I love you very much. You know, some distractions you can get away from, others you cannot. Seriously, a whole train went by. I didn't know they use these tracks for anything. I thought they were just sitting there. The last thing I want to say is this. If we want our kids to think outside the box, to work really hard, to be motivated, to make good friends, to make good decisions, to face their shortcomings, then we have to be willing to be the example. There's no way I ever want to have a kid in my class that's going to work harder than I am, that's going to be more excited than I am every day. I want to be the example for the rest of the kids that are around me, and even for some of the employees also. At the end of the day, we're not responsible for anyone else's happiness or whether or not they had a good day, but we can inspire others and motivate them to have a better day. And I just think that that's a better decision than to not. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Don't forget to like this, to subscribe, and hit that weird little bell thing down there, because that does something magical, and I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm sure you win a prize, and maybe you'll get a donut in the mail. I don't know. Guys, if you have any questions about anything that I've said, go ahead and leave it below. Also, let me know what you're planning on doing to make this your best year ever, and go ahead and leave that in the comment section below also. I'd love to take some ideas from you as well. Guys, thanks for watching, and I hope that this is your greatest school year ever. Peace.